to the Southern Voice. I'm your host, Jessica Whitfield. On today's show, we're going to be interviewing the Executive Director to the 3rd Street Community Center, Mr. Walter Strathy. You do not want to miss today's show. Stay tuned to the Southern Voice. Welcome back to the Southern Voice. I'm here with Mr. Walter Strathy, the Executive Director to the 3rd Street Community Center. Hi, Walter.
Hey, Jessica. Thanks a lot for having me on the show today.
It's great that you could be here with us today. It's wonderful.
Thanks.
So let's just jump right in, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Can you tell us what the 3rd Street Community Center is all about?
Sure, Jessica. Our vision is building a stronger community for a better Greenville. We believe as we come alongside the community and execute some community development strategy together with our neighbors, it's going to benefit all of Greenville. And our mission is really about equipping people in ways that bring dignity and a hopeful future.
What is the history of your work on the west side of Greenville?
Sure, Jessica. We've actually started our ministry over in a house on Chestnut Street. It was a small house that was donated to us, and at the time it was abandoned. And I felt a heart to come into the community and learned a lot about the beauty and the richness of the west side, and just fell in love with the neighbors. And at the time, we were on the corner of Columbia and Chestnut Street over in West Greenville, and the police department actually classified that as the worst neighborhood in Greenville. And I didn't get it because they were just my neighbors. But we started to build relationships, learn about the culture. People welcomed us in, and that was sort of how we started. And we've been operating in that ministry for about 5 or 6 years now. And in November of this year, we actually, a friend of mine that was ministering in that area actually acquired this building, which is the old 3rd Street School. And because of the size of our facility here, we changed the name of that ministry from Certain Hope Ministries to the 3rd Street Community Center. So
your ministry area around Chestnut Street is still active?
Yes, Jessica. Actually, it's amazing what's going on over there. We actually we have another small house that we call Ministry House 1209, and that's on the corner of 14th and Chestnut Street. A lot of people know it as the house by the painted fence. And over there, we serve breakfast on Saturday mornings. There's a Monday night women's Bible study. There's a Thursday night fellowship group, and that's in Ministry House 1209. And right next to that is an amazing community garden that the community has actually taken over. And so there's a lot of ministry still going on over there. This part of our ministry is an expansion. It's not a replacement.
What will be the focus at the 3rd Street Community Center?
Good question. That actually, we actually prayed about that, and back in December of 2012, we believe the Lord has laid 3 core strategies on our hearts. And a lot of this is going to have to do with the community input, but the 3 broad strategies are youth development, business and workforce development, and advocacy for the arts, which we call creative community.
What are some of your dreams for the youth and family development focus area?
Sure. Some of the dreams that we have, and again, this is going to depend on community input. We don't want to come in here and force our agenda. But so far, the people we've talked to love the idea of starting an after-school program. So we're partnering with Building Hope Community Life Center, and we've applied for a grant, and we're hoping in January we'll actually start something called Building Hope on 3rd Street, which is a partnership between Building Hope Community Life Center and 3rd Street to start an after-school program for elementary school age kids and high school age kids. Middle school young people are being really well served by the community, but there's some gaps when it comes to the early years and the high school years. In addition to that, our core strategy around youth development is going to be a weekend recreation program, which we're excited about. Right now it's very informal. It's playing in the backyard, but there are some partner agencies that have kind of stepped in, and they really want to start some formal programs where we have a partnership with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And just yesterday, actually, I met with one of the representatives for Finding God in Baseball. So we want to start a baseball league. So the weekend programming is going to be really important to us. We want to be a center that's open on the weekends.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll speak more with Mr. Strathy. Stay tuned to the Southern Voice.
You're watching the Southern Voice. Yarr!
Welcome back to the Southern Voice. For those of you just joining us, we're speaking with Walter Strathy, the Executive Director of the 3rd Street Community Center. What are some of your dreams for the business and workforce development focus area?
That's a great question, Jessica. We've actually already partnered with Strive. Actually, we're in one of the Strive classrooms here at the center. And Strive is a workforce readiness or agency where they help people develop resumes, interview skills, help them search for jobs on the computer. They're a part of JobLink too. They have a JobLink site here. So that's really key for workforce entry. And then the second dream actually that we've had, and we've started it already, is it's a business called 3rd Street Facility Services. We have 25,000 square feet of building and about 16 acres of property. So we need our own building maintained. So we thought, since we're going to invest in that anyway, we would actually, the other 6 days a week, is we would use that to generate revenue and provide jobs. So 3rd Street Facility Services, in the first year will employ 2 people, and in the second year we should be up to 12. And our plan is in the third year that we would have about 24 jobs that we've created.
These are some very big dreams. Who are some of the partners working together with you?
That's a good question. Actually, the 2 partners that I already mentioned, one is Strive, and they're a workforce development, job readiness agency that help people step into the workforce. And the other one is Building Hope Community Life Center, which is a family life center. They do family ministry, youth development. So they're 2 really important partners of ours. Another is the Men of Standard. The 300 Men of Standard was started at Building Hope. And Women of Worth, which was also started at Building Hope. And that's really character development for young people that may not come from positive environments. And we partner with WOW and Men of Standard to really speak life to our young people. We want to partner with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Finding God in Baseball. We partner with multiple churches, too many for me to even begin to mention. Churches in the area have been amazing supporters. Some businesses in the community, actually Practicon, which is a local business, has adopted our arts room, which we're really excited about. So they're sending employees here a couple times a week to provide the labor. They've provided some of the financing to rebuild that room. We want to partner with Magnolia Arts Council on community theater. We've partnered with Pitt Community College during our Christmas season. They came out and partner with us there, and this weekend we have Springfest, and Pitt Community College is planning on coming out also and doing some music for us. And the continuing education department at Pitt Community College has been amazing. We're dreaming and discussing about possibly opening up a culinary school, and that would eventually be a degreed program. So we do have huge dreams, but we have an amazing amount of partners. We are just blessed with resources from the community, and that's how we're going to get it done.
How is the 3rd Street Community Center funded?
Multiple sources. Individuals, people can send a tax-deductible contribution in any time to the 3rd Street Community Center. So individuals, businesses, we do have some business partners. A lot of churches, a lot of Christian organizations partner with us financially. And our after-school program, we're applying for a grant. We did get a small grant to help us with some of the facilities, but we're constantly looking for resources, and we want to get it from multiple areas. One of the civic organizations we've been talking a lot with, and they've been just in a discernment process, is the Rotary Club. There's a couple Rotary clubs in town that have showed an interest in supporting us. Kiwanis. There's just multiple. This is a big dreams. We need partners, and we have an amazing network of supporters.
What are some of the immediate needs for the center to get off the ground?
Oh, great question. Well, I hate to say it, but the immediate need is money. I hate that, but it is one of those things that we need. We are doing a lot of infrastructure upgrades. we changed the occupancy designation from education to multi-use, one of them being business and one of them being assembly. And that requires us to update some of the facilities. So the huge expense, actually the huge need right now is for bathrooms. Our bathrooms need to be brought up to ADA compliance. We need to have the right number of fixtures per people in the building, and we want to be good citizens. We want to make sure everything is up to code, and the city's been really helpful in helping us understand what that looks like. So that a lot of the needs are around that right now is the facilities. We do need volunteers. Every third Saturday of the month, we call it Third Saturday at 3rd Street, is we ask the community to get engaged and help us out. We maintain the center with all volunteers. And again, we've been blessed. Since we've been here, we've had over 400 volunteers come through and help us fix the outside up and paint and just all sorts of things. The other need that we have is for sports equipment. So, we're looking if a school or an organization has purchased equipment and they have some old stuff like soccer goals, basketballs. We need some basketball backboards for our weekend recreation program. We're going to need tutors for the after-school program. We are partnered with East Carolina University's volunteer services group, and they've been sending all sorts of volunteers here. So those are just some of the immediate needs, but the short answer is money.
What types of things do you see yourself concentrating on in the short term?
In the short term, what I've been trying to do, and I haven't been doing a very good job at it because we've been just bogged down with the facility, is meeting the neighbors. I want to be intentional about getting out to the community and walking door to door and introducing myself and letting them know that this is their community center. We don't want to be outsiders coming in. We want this to be an inside-out ministry. So, and that was what happened over at Chestnut Street. So the neighbors are actually running the ministry, and that's I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but we want to come alongside the neighbors in the community that are led, willing, able to come in here and take this thing over, and come alongside of them, equip them, share our dreams with them. But that begins with me getting out and getting to know them. So I really just, I get frustrated because I don't have enough time to do that. So anybody that's watching this, I would love to get out and meet you, but if I don't get to your door, ring my doorbell. If you see my car here, come and see us. We would love to meet the neighbors, and I'm trying my best to get out there.
How can the audience learn more about the 3rd Street Community Center?
Good question. Actually, we have a Facebook page, is right now how we're communicating, and our Facebook page is 3rd Street CC. So you just get on www.facebook.com/3rd Street CC. We also have a web address, which is the same. It's www.thirdstreetcc.org, or they could email me, and my email address is walter@thirdstreetcc.org. Our phone number here at the center is 252-364-2995, and they could give me a call. We're open to questions, suggestions. Again, we want this to be an inside-out community center.
I want to thank you so much for being on today's show, Mr. Strathy.
I really appreciate being on the Southern Voice. Thank you, Jessica.
Up next, we're going to be speaking with Cliff Kilpatrick, Community Liaison for the 3rd Street Community Center. Stay tuned. You're watching the Southern Voice.
You're watching the Southern Voice. Yar!
Welcome back to the Southern Voice. Our next guest is Cliff Kilpatrick, Community Liaison for the 3rd Street Community Center. Hi, Cliff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
That's great. That's great. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'll be happy to. I was born in New Jersey. However, I came to North Carolina at age 10 years old. I was raised in this community. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. I'm currently studying human services with a concentration in criminal justice. I just have a zest for service, and as my friends and I gather I find that's what we seem to spend most of our time talking about, is how we can make a difference and have an impact in our community.
Help the audience understand how you see the challenges our city faces, specifically the West Side.
I think the challenges our city faces aren't much different from the challenges faced by many cities across the country, particularly communities that are similar to this West Side community. We have a basic fracture within the community. We lack those everyday heroes. Some would call them role models, but when I was growing up, they were really heroes to myself and to friends of mine. They were those guys and women who came out and spent time with children, and they motivated us and encouraged us to do well and to excel. And that's one of the greatest challenges I see, is unifying the community and unifying the people within the community so we can come out and make a difference in the lives of the youth.
How did you first connect with Walter and the 3rd Street Community Center?
Funny you would ask that. It was just by a chance meeting. I was visiting a friend of mine in the community and happened to notice all the signs out by 3rd Street School. So I asked if that was still being used as a school. And to my surprise, they told me, no, that's some sort of a community center. So I came right over and rang the bell, and immediately I was welcomed with a big smile and literally open arms.
What do you think about the vision for the center?
I think the vision of the center is magnificent. I think it's awesome because it speaks to the needs of the community. It is so big. The vision is just like the center is huge. And so it's hard not to develop the enthusiasm that I have going forward.
How are your neighbors reacting to what's going on with 3rd Street Community Center?
Well, the process has been slow, but it's been steady. We've gained some traction. We're slowly, moving. We're gaining momentum, and anticipation is great within the community. I'm talking to people about the center and about the upcoming Spring Fest next weekend. And a lot of people are very excited about the possibilities coming out of this location.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll speak more with Mr. Kilpatrick. Stay tuned. You're watching The Southern Voice.
For more information, contact Student Health Services.
And we're back. I'm here with Cliff Kilpatrick. Mr. Kilpatrick, from your perspective, what may be some of the challenges the center may face?
That's a good question, Jessica. I'm so glad you asked. As one of the most immediate challenges, I see funding. We're a tremendously large facility, and we have really, really large dreams for this facility. And it's going to take a lot of funds to make those dreams become a reality. I also see community involvement as being a challenge. We're networking with the community. I'm out knocking on doors and talking to people on a daily basis about what's going on here at the 3rd Street Community Center. And while we do have some community involvement, we don't have nearly as much as we're going to need in order to make this community center a community center that truly works for the community.
How can the neighbors become engaged into what's going on with 3rd Street Community Center?
Well, there's several ways they can do that. They can actually stop by and ring the doorbell. I'm sure Walter will be happy to see anyone coming by. They can call us here at 252-364-2995, or they can check us out on the web at www.thirdstreetcc.org, or check us out on facebook.com/3rd Street CC. You can even call me at my personal number at 252-558-3151.
What excites you the most about the possibilities for the center?
An opportunity like this comes along probably once in a lifetime, where you have people coming into the community partnering with the community as well as others throughout the city to help make this community a better place and to help reconnect the people within the community. Unity is what we lack, and this is a great opportunity for 3rd Street Community Center to be a central location to facilitate the projects and the discipline and whatever it is that we need to help our youth grow and become better and move forward.
Remind our viewers how they can learn more about the 3rd Street Community Center.
I think the best way to learn more about the community center is to come by and say hello, or you can come by every 3rd Saturday at 3rd Street. There are tons of wonderful, wonderful volunteers doing work on the building, trying to help bring it up to code, and we'd love to see more people from the immediate surroundings getting involved with that. So far, we've had people come from as far as Chapel Hill, and they're coming in big numbers, and some of the most wonderful people you've ever met. And some of the people are right here in the West Side. Some of the most wonderful, hardworking people you're ever going to meet are right here on the West Side. And we want to get them out here at the center participating and giving us their input. So when this building is finished, it can be the kind of center that represents the entire community and not just a few.
Mr. Kilpatrick, we want to thank you so much for being on today's show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Up next, we'll be speaking with Terrence Wooten. Stay tuned. You're watching The Southern Voice.
You're watching the Southern Boys. Yarr!
And we're back with our final guest, Terrence Wooten, one of the community's 300 Men of Standard. Hi, Terrence. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jessica.
What changes have you noticed in your neighborhood since the 3rd Street Community Center has been here?
A lot of kids that came out safer.
Tell us how building hope and the 300 Men of Standard has impacted your life.
I've been out a lot of trouble since I've been there.
What has the Men of Standard taught you about what a real man is?
A real man rejects passivity, accepts responsibility, lead courageously, and finish the course. That's a real man.
Thanks so much, Terrence, for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
We're going to take our final break. We'll be right back.
You're watching the Southern Boys. Yarr!
Thank you for tuning in to The Southern Voice. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to be on our show, feel free to send us an email at thesouthernvoice@yahoo.com. Take care and God bless.